had some requests to give some more detail on some of the other systems that I've put together down here in my basement. Again, I'll tell you, I've been at this since 1974, and I just really enjoy putting together maybe systems that might be a little bit out of the ordinary. I kind of like to think outside the box, or however you want to put it. So this is in my little pool table area. It's an unfinished part of my basement, as you can plainly see. But anyway, I was on a business trip to California, and I was there for quite a while and was bored out of my mind. So I went to some yard sales and picked up that Marantz receiver out there. I believe that is a 22015. Thing worked perfectly, and I was able to get it at a really good price. So that's the centerpiece of this system that I put together. Then locally out here in Ohio, this woman was selling this Kenwood turntable. I had to get the speed adjusted, and it was going a little up and down as far as the RPMs go, but I got that taken care of. And as you can hear, I'm playing some Procol Harum on there right now. And then this is another garage sale. Find that's a Rotel 4-channel amp, because the 2015 is a great little receiver, but I just didn't feel like it had enough juice to push the speakers that I ended up putting down here. And then as you can see, there's a couple Sonos pieces out there. The bigger one on the left is the Sonos amp that actually is connected to some speakers that I ran out to my patio. And the one on the right is actually hooked up to this system, and it's to another system in another room that I'll show you in a bit. I kept that old school Optimus, aka Radio Shack equalizer. I probably bought that thing probably almost 20 years ago, and it's been fine. It was sitting up in storage for a bit, but I pulled it out and put it in this system. And then a little Sony CD changer slash burner that I don't use very often down here, but that's nice. I still have something that I can copy old school CDs with. Like old school, right? CDs are old school now, I guess. And then recently my coworker knew that I'm into all kinds of audio equipment. His mom was getting rid of some older equipment, so I picked up these Electro Voice speakers. She practically gave them to me, and it was very nice of her. Thank you, Mrs. Barfleman. But as you can see, the cabinets are in great shape. So I got those hooked up now. There's the other one. And then around the back, the woman that I bought that turntable from here locally, I also bought these Infinity speakers off of. I just love finding old equipment that was well cared for, like these were. And down on the floor, that's a little old linear tracking turntable. I'm in the process of rehabbing. I got to get some parts for it, so I'll move on to the next thing. This is a console stereo that I picked up locally. The woman just wanted it out of her garage and was going to give it to me, but I refused to give her nothing for it, so I gave her $35 for it and brought it home. And as you would expect at a console this old that's been sitting in a garage, the electronics were pretty much shot in it. So I gutted it and put new speakers and some other things in there that I'll show you. I took the drivers out of those speaker cavities. They were mounted right inside those like side slanted wood pieces that you see. I took those out of there and put some Energy bookshelf speakers that fit in there perfectly in their place. But the wood finish on this thing, for its age, I'm guessing probably late 60s, early 70s, is really good. And it's sold by Sears and made by Silvertone is what the tag inside of it says. So what I did was I took out the turntable. As you can see where that little Monoprice hybrid tube amp is, there was a turntable sitting in there. Now normally when I'm running that, I leave the top open because those tubes can get a little warm. And I left that in there. Like I said, the electronics in here are just pretty much shot. And then what I did was I took this Denon turntable that I found, it was about an 80-mile drive to go pick this thing up, but it was well worth it. The guy had it at a very good price and it works perfectly fine. So I had that hooked up to a project, however you pronounce that, little phono amp, and then that's connected internally to the little Monoprice Hybrid 2 preamp, which was also, I bought that new, but that was very inexpensive, as most Monoprice things are. I think, obviously it's all Chinese, but this thing's been absolutely fine since I've got it. I've got no complaints at all. And it also has a Bluetooth antenna built into it, so if somebody's over and just wants to listen to something off their iPhone or Android device or whatever, they can just hook up to that. And then that's a record cabinet that I bought that basically that fits that turntable pretty well. I just like that old 60s look. So I got that off of Etsy. I want to say off a guy in Oregon. I got stuff in here from all over the United States basically. And then I had this little Energy subwoofer that I picked up dirt cheap, kind of sitting on a shelf, so I hooked that up to that little amp has a subwoofer pre-out on it, so I used that. So that's that for that part. One more I'm going to show you. So this is the third system down here. This is something, again, I kind of pieced together. It's just a 65-inch TV that I use primarily for watching sports. I got those Dynaudio speakers off a gentleman. I was doing some work at his house. They were sitting under a tarp, and I asked him what he intended to do with them. He was going to sell them to a resale shop. I asked him how much he was looking to get. When he told me the price, my jaw hit the floor. I went home and came back after work with the cash and picked those up. I love those Dynaudio speakers. They're really nice. And then for a center channel, I just picked up this Wharfedale online. So that's that part. And then I picked up this Yamaha for accessories for less. I wanted something with HDMI switching in it, and picked that up for significantly, I think it was about 45% off of retail. Accessories for less is great because their refurb stuff still has a factory warranty on it. It's not as long as original, but you can buy an extended warranty and it'd still be less than what you would pay retail for something like that. So that's that part of it over there. I have a little Xbox down there too, as you can see. And then over here, my dad had an open reel recorder when I was a kid, and I always wanted, I shouldn't say always, but more recently, as I've been getting more nostalgic in my old age, I wanted to pick one up. So I was scouring the internet, and there was a gentleman down in Dayton, Ohio, and I live up in west of Cleveland, so we kind of met halfway and brought that thing home, and he seemed to be a guy of his word, said it worked perfectly fine, and he's absolutely right. Brought it home, there were no problems with it, and the sound quality right now sounds kind of crappy, but that's not the system. That is the album that was recorded off. It's basically a fan-based bootleg that I found at a record store. And being this Steely Dan fan that I am, trying to say that fast 3 times, or even once in my case, I felt compelled to pick that up. And then down there is an Ethan Allen 1960s era phono cabinet that I picked up from, I probably need to stay off of like Facebook for sale and things, because eventually this basement's going to get filled up with stuff, but I got a great deal on that, and it's in almost like new condition for its age. It's incredible. And the cool thing about it is it has a little lid that lifts up. You can put a turntable in there, which you can see is what I did. And then down there is, with the little white light on the left side, is a Cambridge phono preamp, because most newer receivers, as you're probably aware, don't have phono inputs on them. And those older guys like me would know that a turntable has very low voltage output, so you can't just plug it into an auxiliary port on the back of a receiver that's marked auxiliary. You're not going to get any volume out of it. You have to have a step-up preamp that amplifies the signal coming from the turntable, so the receiver will output it at its proper volume. So there's your lesson for today. And then just around the back, I had a couple little definitive speakers. So this is a 7.1 system. And then back over here, it's a bit of a mess back here, but it's out of the way. I have a couple more like rear speakers. There's a little Cambridge there, another one over there, and then down in the corner there, right by that electrical outlet, there's a sub that I had sitting around. So that pretty much explains my obsession. You know, I've seen other YouTube videos that this pales in comparison to these. I've seen guys that have more than this in one corner of their house. So God bless them. I think I better stop while I'm ahead. So I'll end it there. Thank you.